Just ahead, snow squall warnings for the Snowbelt area and a hot controversy in Medina over a proposed book ban. We'll have a live update.
Cleveland City Council talks about police chokeholds. Young fire victims are laid to rest, plus women and heart disease.
The 10 o'clock news is next.
From WUAB Channel 43, where the news comes first, this is the 10 o'clock news with Ramona Robinson, Jack Marshall, meteorologist Sally Bernier, and sports director Gib Shanley.
Snow squalls and swirling winds are making travel mighty treacherous on the North Coast tonight. The two big questions right now: how long will it last, and what can we expect by morning? Good evening.
For the answers to those questions, we turn now to Sally, who's out in the elements right now. Sally brings us up to date on this storm. Sally?
Well, Jack and Ramona, the snow has been picking up here in the last hour. We're going to see this kind of thing all night. The snow will let up a little bit, and then you'll see a squall, but even the west side is seeing some snow. Take a look and see right now, we have a snow squall warning in effect for northeast Ohio. That would include the Snowbelt area, but everybody should see accumulation out of this. On radar, you can see a big green blob sitting over the city. It extends east and west, and we are looking for more accumulations. Certainly a shovelable and plowable snow, and there's more to come tonight as temperatures drop and wind chills go well below zero. We'll talk about those snowfall amounts coming up a little later on in the show, but in the meantime, Jack and Ramona, your cars are cleaned off. Not. Back to you.
I was just going to tell you, Sal, go out there and clean my car for me. Thank you, Sal.
I'll do mine first.
All right. Bye-bye.
In other news tonight, the fight for freedom of expression is taking place down in Medina tonight over books. Bill Martin is joining us live tonight from a packed hall at the city's junior high school. Bill, what's the controversy all about down there?
Tonight, the controversy here is over 3 books, 2 Stephen King novels, and another book in particular. It is Night Over Water by Ken Follett. Now, one parent here believes that the books particularly are racy and not appropriate for her child. That prompted students here in Medina to print up these T-shirts, equating with what they believe is censorship here with Nazi Germany during World War II. That started the ball rolling here as things got ugly. A lot of names calling tonight, which packed the school board meeting here in Medina tonight for people to express their views, and this is what they had to say tonight.
No, what has been most difficult for me is to observe name-calling, moralistic judgments based on innuendo, quotes out of context, and a complete disregard for other people's opinions. And believe me, there's enough blame to spread around to all sides of this controversy. If our students learn anything from this community issue, I hope it is that we should have one fear, a fear of blind obedience to a position that does not allow people to open up their ears, eyes, and minds to other points of view.
While it's easy to blame books, TV, art, or music for a child's misbehavior, it's much harder to take a step back and look at the kind of environment that child matured in and try to alter the kind of parenting which he or she receives.
As a voter, as a citizen, and as a member of this community, you are charged with and held accountable to maintaining acceptable community standards in the material that's available for our children. This is not a First Amendment issue.
I view the material in question, if it were made into a movie, these students would not be permitted to see it.
I want to say, Jack and Ramona, that these books are offered during an optional honors reading program, not required material here in Medina, but that's prompting the school board and parents here to kind of review the whole process to make sure that what their kids are reading, they believe, are appropriate reading material at home. Now, if the parent doesn't like something optional in the program, of course, they can tell their child not to read it. They have an option in that. Let's go back to you.
Okay, Bill Martin reporting live from Medina. Thanks for the update, Bill.
The streets of Liverpool, England erupted early today when a screaming mob attacked a police van carrying a pair of 10-year-old boys. The 2 youngsters were leaving their first court appearance accused of killing a toddler lured away from his mother. A crowd of 300 hurled eggs and shouted profanities at the suspects outside the magistrate's office, and several arrests were made here. Even though under British law, children under 15 cannot be kept in custody, the boys will be held by Children's Services until their next hearing, March 3rd. 2-year-old Jamie Bulger was found dead on railroad tracks last week. His kidnap and murder has led to a growing support in Britain for a crackdown on young criminals.
A surprising claim tonight in Los Angeles by the judge now presiding over the federal trial of police officers accused of beating motorist Rodney King. The judge is accusing defense attorneys of trying to seat a jury that won't be able to reach a verdict. Defense attorneys have been asking prospective jurors if they understand the concept of a hung jury. The judge eventually put a stop to that line of questioning. Now, all this took place just before a jury was finally chosen earlier tonight, a panel that includes 2 blacks and a Hispanic. Opening arguments are set for Wednesday in a trial that could take as long as 8 weeks. Well, tonight, a 25-year-old New York man accused in the 1991 shooting death of a 2-year-old Cleveland boy admitted to several charges during his appearance in a Cleveland courtroom today. Pierre Richard Prophet, who also goes by the name of Gregory Harris, was to go on trial today. He was arrested during a shocking drug bust in which 2-year-old London marjoram was used as a shield from flying bullets in a shootout with police. The boy was killed at the scene on Yakel Avenue in Cleveland. Today, Prophet admitted to charges of involuntary manslaughter, attempted murder, and aggravated burglary. Investigators say Prophet has agreed to work with police in order to help find the other suspects who were involved in the incident. Police say Prophet had come to Cleveland from the Bronx only a few weeks before that fatal shooting.
Today, an accident involving a Cuyahoga County Sheriff's van and a car on East 26th and Superior sent a woman to the hospital. Luckily, she suffered only minor injuries. Cleveland police tell us the woman was driving west on Superior in this black Nissan Maxima when she suddenly stopped at an intersection and was rear-ended by a sheriff's van. A deputy sheriff was driving the van, and EMS crew was called to the scene and took the woman to the hospital, where she was treated and released. Police say wet, icy roads were a factor in the accident. We have an update for you tonight on the 2 Bedford Heights police officers who were injured while investigating an accident on I-480 yesterday. Patrolman Dale Wisnowski is in fair condition at Metro Health Medical Center with internal injuries, and Patrolman David Leonardi is suffering from minor leg injuries. The 2 officers were talking with the people involved in a 2-car accident on 480 near Aurora Road when another car lost control and hit the policeman, pinning them against one of the cars. As of right now, the 17-year-old driver of the car which hit the patrolman has not been charged.
Heavy hearts and tears of sadness in Akron tonight following funeral services for 21-year-old Prescott Prade. As we told you last week, Prade was fatally shot outside an Akron night spot, and it was his father, an Akron police officer, who was first to arrive at the scene and find his son's body. Eulogies were delivered by friends and family that gathered today at the Arlington Church of God. It was difficult for many to hold back the tears after speaking about the loss of their best friend, someone who they loved very much and someone they will sadly miss. The Reverend Ronald Fowler said the death of Prescott Prade is a tragic sign of the times in many communities.
Still trying to solve our problems through violence. And at some point, somebody's got to become wise enough to say, violence is illogical. It doesn't solve anything. Until we learn to hold people accountable for their behavior, we're only going to see more of these senseless acts perpetually.
And tonight, Akron City Police are still holding a suspect who last week was charged in the shooting death of Prescott Prade.
And in Cleveland, more than 200 people turned out to bid a final farewell to 3 of the 5 young children who died in a house fire a week ago yesterday. Funeral services were held today for little Stitima, Eric, and Armitra Nicole Stowers. The children and 2 of their cousins could not be saved after a curtain in the downstairs apartment of this home caught fire. The community has rallied around the family, and today the children's aunt told us that family members are grateful for the support.
We thank the community. We thank the mayor of Cleveland, Mayor White. We thank Mayor Davis. And the family just thank you.
The Stour children were laid to rest at Highland Park Memorial Cemetery in Cleveland. Funeral services for their cousins were held last Friday. Many generous people in the community raised more than $7,000 to pay for the burial of all 5 children.
Former Clevelander and convicted war criminal John Demjanjuk may be going on a hunger strike next week. At least that's the word tonight from Demjanjuk's attorney in Jerusalem, Yoram Sheftel. He claims his client plans to start the fast on March 1st in protest of the continued delay in a ruling on the appeal of his conviction. But at this hour, the guards at the prison where Demjanjuk is being held say Demjanjuk himself claims to have no intention of going on such a strike. The 72-year-old Demjanjuk is a retired auto worker from Seven Hills.
Winter storm warnings are up at this hour for several areas of Northeast Ohio. We'll have the latest when Sally joins us again a bit later during the 10 o'clock news.
Ohio Bell customers could be paying their phone bills to another company if Ameritech gets the government's okay to restructure.
And a true story about life in a MASH unit remembered by a Cleveland war vet. Stay with us.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news on WUAB Channel 43, where the news comes first.
When the people at Lincoln Mercury asked me to tell you about this special edition Max Topaz, first thing I said was, "What's a Max?" They said, "It's a two-door sport coupe." And I said, "It's a Topaz with all the pizzazz." And all for a great low price. So, how could you ask for more than that? Ask for the four-door and get 2 extra doors. The new special edition Max Topaz. But hurry, supplies are limited. At your Lincoln Mercury dealer now.
At last, it's evening, and a hot home-cooked meal can make up for so much. Bird's Eye Easy Recipe. Food from the heart, not the microwave. Just brown fresh chicken, then add the Easy Recipe blend of crisp Bird's Eye vegetables. Carrots, snow peas, broccoli, peppers, plus pasta, and a savory sauce. A great meal for 2 in minutes. So you do what you can, we'll do what you can't. Bird's Eye Easy Recipe. Let's make dinner together.
Dining out with the family. They didn't go where she wanted. They didn't go where he wanted. They didn't go where they wanted. They compromised and went where no one wanted. And if you think they're having fun now, wait till they see the bill. Of course, there is Ponderosa. Right now, you can get our all-you-can-eat shrimp dinner with our 72-item grand buffet and Sunday bar, all for one great price. Ponderosa, a good idea.
Well, last night we told you to expect it. Tonight, 2 Cleveland City lawmakers introduced legislation at the council meeting prohibiting police officers from using a so-called chokehold on suspects they're trying to arrest.
As you know, the maneuver is what the county coroner ruled as the cause of death of 23-year-old Michael Pipkins. The officers were trying to arrest Pipkins at the time of his death back in December. Ben Holbert is just back from City Hall with details on that issue and the rest of tonight's busy council session.
Very busy. Jack and Ramona, under this new proposal, the only time a police officer would be permitted to use this chokehold if his or her life was in danger. Eastside Council members Fannie Lewis and Frank Jackson say their residents are outraged that under current police policy, they're permitted to use a maneuver that can kill a person within a matter of seconds.
There are people who are the people who they serve that have considerations. And one of their considerations is the use of this chokehold that has been demonstrated to cause death, not only here in Cleveland, but throughout this country. And the general sentiment is that there should be some restraint put on it.
Tonight, Councilmen Jackson and Lewis introduced the measure to ban the chokehold. There is also growing community support to make the measure a part of the city charter.
So we want this ordinance that was introduced tonight to become a law, so it cannot be overturned at a later date, and calling on the city to the voters to literally change the prosecutor's office from an appointed one to an elective one.
Councilwoman Fannie Lewis also blasted Mayor Michael White, who was absent from tonight's meeting. She claims that Prosecutor Barbara Danforth bowed to political pressure and refused to charge Reverend Leon Lawrence. A woman claims she was sexually harassed by the school board member. Mayor White worked to get Lawrence and 3 other board members elected to the school board.
But we need to do something about that office as it relates to, if all is true, what happened to the young lady who went to get some justice.
Also tonight, Jack and Ramona, council also voted to buy 2 new police helicopters. Councilman Mike Polinsik also would like to see the city establish an aviation hangar. Right now, they are flying out of Burke Lake Airport, Millionaire's Hangar, and Councilman Polinsik would like to see the city buy their own because right now they're leasing that area for about $6,000 per year. So he wants to see the city have their own.